Kasi tumatay balay mo. Well, listen.
Wait lang. If that makes sense. Hindi ko kaya. Parang kailangan ko siya i-block for now.
Guys, we have to know.
I block siya.
Hi everyone! Welcome to this episode of Queentuhan podcast. And we have here a very special guest. She is, babasahin ko talaga sa mataas-taas to. She is a transformational life coach who does life-changing retreats here in the Philippines and abroad. She has also been in interviews with Mark Logan, Elena Darna, and Alec Cuenca, also the founder of Safe Space, who has coached thousands of individuals. And lastly, she is also an upcoming TEDx speaker, no other than Miss Libni, Fortuna.
See, energy natin.
Welcome to this Queentuhan podcast,
honor.
Miss Libni.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling?
Excited. Yeah, so I'm super excited, and I guess like it's the first time that you guys are doing this na outside the...
Yes.
Yeah, so it's an honor for me to be part of this.
And we are very happy na you have graced this episode.
Thank you.
Kasi
Thank
sa
you.
hectic na schedule mo, at least napagbigyan mo. Invited you to also share to our viewers about mindsetting, goal setting. First question, Miss Libni, is that for you, how can you clearly define your personal and professional goals so that you can create a balanced life?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you guys for, taking this time to actually give something back to the community, because I believe that it's something that the community really needs, and there's limited parang resources of talks like this. One of my favorite things to share are also about setting goals, because I really believe that if you don't have goals, you'll easily be swayed with circumstances. So
True.
one thing that I teach my students is that you have to know where you're going, because if you don't know where you're going, you're gonna waste resources, your time, your money, your energy.
Correct.
So I want to bring here a metaphor that I always constantly share to everybody. Like, it's like going on a road trip. So let's say you're going to Siargao, and then once you know where you're going, syempre alam mo na how much you prepare, how much how much money you're gonna create, or all of those preparations. So if you don't know where you're going, every road will be your destination ba kumbaga. So you're gonna waste your time, resources in all of those things.
Tama.
So going back to your question regarding how do you balance your professional and your life, number one, you have to know where you're going.
Correct.
Once you know where you are going, you start planning. Because if you don't plan, failing to plan is planning to fail.
Correct.
And then you organize based on the categories that you actually have in your life. For example, you have family time, you have business time, you have friends time, you have all of these times. And then you start planning, kumbaga, like an overview. For me, I use Google Calendar to manage my schedule. So if you're not in my Google Calendar, of course, you won't be. For me, parang wait lang.
You're not part of my day.
Yeah, I have to insert because I have gym, I have family, I have this and that, and then all the things that I'm creating.
Yes.
So it's really a matter of planning, knowing where you're going, planning, and following through what your plans are. Because the awareness is just potential power. Power comes from the action that you take after the awareness. So with that planning, how are you planning to take the action? And that's when power comes, when you take the action after the plan. If that makes sense, yeah.
Yes. Yun na lang po yung nasabi ko. Yes. So it's very important that you really take action. Kasi even if you plan it, if you don't take actions, wala lang din siya.
That's true. A lot of people are stuck and still in the same story over and over again, not moving their life's needle, is because yes, they have the plan. Yes, they all have these fancy things. Yes, they have this plan with their friends na ito gawin natin, pero nothing really happens because there's no execution. And thus, I believe that this has happened because of execution as well, diba? So that's when you see the result, when there is an execution after the planning, and that's when power comes in. And that's when you can start actually moving your life's needle and seeing the balance na ito, gawin natin kasi nangyari na to. And then you learn from those results after the action. Na-arrange ko siya tama. Tama ba yun?
Oo, saktong-sakto po siya. Since we've been talking about taking action, so for you ba, Miss Libni, how do you stay motivated working towards your long-term goals?
So a lot of people wait for motivation to make things happen.
Yeah.
And it's really a decision. Once you decide, you follow through what you said you would, because motivation won't come. You make it happen by actually doing the thing.
So you just have to do it and then follow through. Kasi if motivation, hindi naman palaging motivated eh. Or if you do it, Even if you don't feel motivated.
Yes.
I think that's where discipline comes.
And at the same time, I want to add in that it's also important yung environment mo. If you want to be motivated in gym, hang out with people who also go to gym, so that ma-cycle yung energy that yes, you'll forget it sometimes, pero like when you always remember na, uy, he does it all the time and I'm constantly reminded.
Yeah.
And another thing is the things that you see on social media, the things that you're exposed to. So if you want to like be really motivated, the way I do it is I mute people who I don't really resonate with and I don't, doesn't add value, and then sometimes I block. Pag hindi ko kaya, parang kailangan ko siya i-block for now.
Parang to filter out lang ba?
Yes.
The things that you encounter, the things that you see. Ganyan. So speaking of that, so paano naman, Miss Libni, how do you overcome yung mga self-doubts, mga self-limiting beliefs natin in building your confidence in achieving your goals?
Confidence comes from taking action from your commitment. Kasi if you have a commitment and you haven't really followed through, that's when parang there's an open loop ba, kumbaga. So nawawala yung confidence mo because you lose trust in yourself because you didn't follow through the commitment. So for you to gain confidence is you have to close those previous loops that has been open that you haven't closed yet. And then when you make a commitment, make sure that you will follow through.
Parang you have to close the gap.
Yes, in between.
In
Kasi nga,
between.
nandun yung question na,
Yes.
There's something here. I haven't really closed this one. So how do I close this so that I can gain confidence when I show up? I know that there's no loose ends ba,
Yeah.
kumbaga. So that's when self-doubt comes in, because have you really finished what you said you would? Really did do something about it and close those loops? For sure, you would show up very whole.
I think nasagot na to, but like let's expound on this one lang. What mindset shifts are necessary for you to move from planning to actual goal execution?
One thing that pops out immediately is like, not doing it is already a no. A lot of people, the only thing that stops them from doing it is the fear in between. And most often, this fear is created by the stories on our head from previous experiences, where in reality, it doesn't really exist, except if you allow it to exist in your reality.
Correct.
So, a lot of people, I don't want to get a no, maybe I get a no, so they don't do anything about it. What's scarier is you are staying where you are. Might as well do it fast so that you learn quick. Tapos from those results, wait lang, hindi nag-work, edi do it faster.
Yeah.
Show it in your reality because you constantly move your life's needle and you just do it anyway. And then you learn from that, and then you learn over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's how you build your skill.
Yeah.
That's how you become better at what you do, because you have a decision to make, you decide quick, and then you learn from that decision, from the result of your action. And a lot of people are not willing to do the things that are uncomfortable. Kasi nga, they might, the fear of not belonging.
Fear of failure.
Yeah, so what? So you get to learn from those experiences because it will only be a failure if you don't learn from those experiences.
Correct.
The best question to ask is, what is this teaching me? What is the gift in this situation? And how do I move from here?
How do I move from here?
Diba?
I like that. How do I move from here?
Things won't happen to you unless you allow it to happen to you.
And speaking of responsibility, Miss Libni, how do you prioritize your goals ba when you feel overwhelmed by daily responsibilities?
Overwhelmed, I push through the overwhelm and do it anyway. And then when I need to, I take a rest and I take a step back. Kasi, if you're overwhelmed, meaning overwhelmed, burnout, your fuel is exhausted. You keep giving back without receiving anything in return. And if that happens, exhaustion comes in. Kaya naubos na nga yung fuel mo. So take a step back, recharge yourself, ground yourself. How? Simple exercises, breathing, going through nature. Everything is energy. In the very core of who we are, it's all energy. That's why it's very highly recommended that you go to nature, because they're neutral, walang anything. So you want to go in a place wherein, you feel safe. And nature is safe.
Yes.
So you ground yourself, you gather yourself,
That's
taking
why.
a deep breath in. And one thing, when you feel the tension, I really find it in my body where the tension is.
Yes.
And then I exhale. May nangyari kahapon, they don't process it, they don't release it. Like, and then they do it again and again. And why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
For sure, because you haven't really processed, the whole thing. So
Until
parang
nag-build up na siya.
Yes.
And that's where it gets heavier.
Yes. And that's
harder to process.
Yes, that's where meditation comes in, journaling, anything that allows you to express in whatever way. Be with people who support your dreams, your goals, because you want to be surrounded with people who celebrate you, who sees you and then you feel safe with, because the more safe you feel with the people around you, the faster you can express and easier you can move. Yeah, celebrate your wins as well, and then prioritize, lagay mo dun sa to-do list mo yung mga dapat mong gawin. Yeah.
Dapat visually nakikita mo.
Oh, for me,
Para ma-remind ka.
Lib, you shouldn't be doing this anymore. So, this is what you should do. You know, I don't really type, do not do this. Instead, in my profession, the subconscious mind doesn't process negatives.
Yeah.
So, it processes in a way that you guide them directly. Utusan mo sila ba? So, instead of me saying that do not do this, I automatically just command, and then unconsciously, you always see it, and everything that you constantly see, unconsciously you absorb, and everything that you believe in, you start putting energy into it. And anything that you put energy into, it comes to life. Once it comes to life, all of your focus will be directed there. You will find evidences to make this, what you believe in, into reality. And thus, it shows up in reality. So, sana nag-gets yun. Medyo madali.
Can I just say, tumatay balay mo while listening.
Wait lang. Sige, kaya niyo yan. Pause nyo lang. Hindi nyo na kaya. Pero, yes, everything starts with the belief. So, you have to be very careful. Now that you know that, wait lang, okay, so since everything starts with the belief, I can now filter out the people that I surround myself with.
Yeah.
Kasi, if you don't know how to filter them out, you start believing na, sabi ni.
Yeah.
And then,
You have to be selective.
Yes. Kaya, careful who you surround yourself with,
Correct.
what you listen to, what you watch, what you expose yourself to.
So I think that also answers this question, like how do you handle setbacks and failures without losing sight of your goals? Kind of related, or do you have anything to add?
So I went out with the intention of, enjoying myself. So I kind of forgot how the scenario in party scenes are. My intent was to really enjoy the music. Kasi mag-alcohol na lang din ako. Then I had too much alcohol that night. And then the next day, why do I feel shame? I had so much fun last night naman. And then I was safe, So I had to, process it. For me, that was a setback. I wasn't in control of myself at that time. Really take a toll on me. So that was kind of a setback. So sabi ko, okay, so what can I learn out from this situation? Para mawala yung tension. So for the past few days that I've been, processing everything, at ilang days na talaga up until now, kasi nag-process pa rin ako. Sabi ko, sayang naman kung hindi ko mag-get ang lesson, no?
Correct.
So, pinuha ko talaga ang lesson na, okay, I have to make a decision out from that situation because life is happening for us to decide and for us to see what works and doesn't work. I'm not the kind of person who wants to lose control over things that I have control, So that's kind of like the lesson there. Number 2, if you have setback, you make a decision and then you take action. And then, number 3, remember your why. Remember your goals.
Yes.
You go back to your North Star, why you're doing what you're doing.
Correct.
So, yun yung ginagawa ko ngayon. I regulated myself. Yesterday, I did a cleansing. I saved and I did meditation. I really said na I need to get back on track. I need to learn all the lessons that I can because I really believe that situations, challenges, things happens for us to learn. And it will keep happening over and over and over again until you learn the lesson.
Correct.
Really getting the lesson out of every setbacks per se, because that's
Every experience.
Yeah, so for me, setbacks are like a slingshot moment wherein you get to decide na, okay, this is the lesson. Now I get to decide after what I can learn from this situation.
So that's why mas madali mo siyang napipinpoint na, okay, hindi na siya aligned sa gusto ko.
Correct.
And that's why it's also easier to decide on it.
Yes, boundaries.
May natututunan ako.
Yes! If you know where you're going, it's easier to decide. Like,
Yes.
wait lang, is this aligned or this is not aligned? So from there, you realize na, now, diba, I know where I'm going. This is not aligned to where I'm going. Now it's easier for me to make decisions because
Yes.
I know where I am going.
Yeah, so guys, we have to know.
Bottom line, know where you're going.
Yeah, correct. Sige. Moving forward, Miss Libni, what role does self-care play in your successful goal setting and achievement?
Recharge. Because you can't really give if you're empty.
Correct.
So you need to recharge yourself. You have to care for yourself knowing that, alam mo, you can give pa more. Anong gagawin mo if ubos ka na? Diba? Anong gawin mo if you're sick? How can I show up here if I'm sick? Diba? So I need to recharge myself. And on my schedule, I always make sure that Saturdays, Sundays is break time. I take time for my family. I take time to, recharge myself. And I'll know that I'm recharged. The metrics there is I'm happy, I'm okay, I'm fully rested. Ganon.
Maganda yun na dapat may metrics ka rin.
Mhm.
So you'll know
Yeah, be
if you
specific.
feel recharged.
So it's very important for me that I am in the right people, someone that is on the same wavelength as I do,
Yes.
speaks the same language. Alam mo yun, like, if I'm into pushing my goals, I also want to sit at tables where I don't know anything.
Yeah. Mm.
I want to sit at tables with mga mentors. That's why I invest in mentors, I invest in programs, I invest in experiences to upgrade me and just not here. Because I'm constantly growing and growing and growing.
And learning, evolving,
Yes.
expanding.
And that's why parang I allow myself to go through life experiences. Kasi even if I didn't like what happened on that last week and how it affected me, I guess it's also a learning piece for me. And I was very uncomfortable, and through the uncomfortable, you learn. So, di ba, you dance in the uncertainty.
Yes.
So, I guess like I allow myself to experience, to sit at tables where I don't know anything. I sit at tables with people I want to be like.
Yeah.
Ganon.
I remember parang in the uncomfortable kasi Miss Libni, that's where you're pushed to move.
Yeah.
Diba? Pag hindi ka na komportable, kailangan gumalaw.
Yeah, the first two moments are those moments.
First two moments, yun.
Na kailangan mo sige, let's go. And that's where you grow.
Miss Libni, what are some ways naman you celebrate small achievements and stay positive throughout your goal-setting journey?
Mag-OA talaga ako mag-celebrate.
Ay, okay na talaga maging OA. Lalo na para sa atin.
Small wins, big wins, let's go! Celebrate! Because the more you celebrate things, the more things to be celebrated ba? Kumbaga, a lot of people focus on what's not there. While me, I focus on, wait lang, this part I grew. So every moment for me is a celebration. Going here is a celebration.
Yeah.
Being here is a celebration.
Parang glimmers.
Yes. And then you celebrate it, like, galing ko naman. You celebrate even if no one sees it. You celebrate.
Yeah. I remember you always tell me na, don't play yourself. don't play yourself. Celebrate.
Yeah. You work hard for it, diba? Like, so if you are in the right circle, you'll also be celebrated.
Correct.
Yeah, because everybody wants you to win. You want to be in a circle where, uy, go, we're here for you. And then when you win, woo, deserve mo yan, ganon.
Yes.
I just want to remind you guys that you are more than who you think you are, that there's more for you. Just know where you're going. That's number one. Plan in relation to the topic. Plan how to get there. Then follow through what you said you would do. Be in spaces where you're celebrated and seen, where you feel safe. Because the more you feel safe, the easier it is for you to express. And when you express, that's when abundance comes in. If you want to invest in mentors, invest in spaces where it can upgrade you. Be in, organizations wherein there's, it speaks more about growth, development, and all those kind of things. Make sure that you ground yourself every day. Celebrate your small wins. And just keep going no matter what. Life belongs to those who are brave and courageous.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Livni.
Thank you.
Baka may gusto kang i-invite sila, mga upcoming retreats mo, di ka?
Follow me Instagram, that's Libni Fortuna. At TikTok, Libni Fortuna. I also have my podcast. Anyway, moving forward, and then I have my retreats every now and then. I don't know when this will be played, but as of this moment, we'll have our retreats in August 30 to September 1 here in Davao, and then the next one will be in Luzon again. Then, if you're in Australia, we also have retreats there. Just feel free to reach out. So, yun lang naman so far ang mga ganap. Yes.
Thank you, Miss Libni.
Thank you.
Guys,
JCI.
hopefully you've learned a lot. See you in our next episode.
Bye.